Hi, I'm Dave Newen, and an education consultant who makes science videos. Many residents of the San Fernando Valley who were poisoned by the Porter Ranch gas blowout of 2015 have told me about problems they've had in terms of painful urination and other maladies relating to the urinary tract. They asked me if the exposure to toxins in the gas blowout might explain this. Here's my answer. A common problem I hear from poisoning victims is that they have symptoms of urinary tract infection, or UTI, interstitial cystitis, or multiple sclerosis. However, further tests can't prove that they have one of these problems. These symptoms are highly indicative of something wrong with the kidneys and the bladder. The kidneys have many small units of filtration. The purpose of the kidney in the body is to filter out toxins and waste products. If you zoom in on these individual filtration units, what you see is the nephron. The nephron is the smallest unit of filtration. Blood flows into a network in this capsule, otherwise known as the Bowman's capsule or glomerular capsule. Here, waste products and drugs and salts are filtered out of the blood into the urine. And the advantage of having a long tube through which waste products can flow is that it gives the body plenty of time to selectively take certain things back out of the urine or put extra waste products into the urine. One oddity that struck me was that though many people told me that they had urinary problems, their doctors would have given them blood and urine tests to check for signs of kidney damage. However, none of the victims of the poisoning told me that they were diagnosed with acute kidney damage. So, while they had painful urination or odd changes in their urination habits, they did not have signs of kidney damage. Suspecting that the cause of these problems was chronic kidney damage, damage at a level too low to be detected by the usual blood and urine tests, I then asked follow-up questions in a community forum. Did any of you have odd changes in urination habits? A bunch of people responded yes. Some people felt the urge to go to the restroom every 30 minutes. I then asked, did any of your jewelry or shoes suddenly feel tighter? A bunch of people responded saying yes. That's their feet suddenly started swelling, painfully so, and that it still does so today from time to time. I then asked, have you developed diabetes or has it gotten worse? A bunch of people responded saying yes. Some people had increasing A1C levels, though they were losing weight and watching their diet, and it made no sense to them or their doctors. I then asked, do you feel chills or feel like the environment just got colder? A bunch of people replied and said yes, they definitely felt this way during the gas blowout and till today. All of these symptoms are highly indicative of heavy metal toxicity to the kidneys. We know that heavy metals cause damage to nerves. This would explain why people have common symptoms of urinary tract infections, but can never prove that when they go to the doctors. Here is data from Dr. Jeffrey Nordella, a physician in the San Fernando Valley, who is the leader in championing the medical health of the poisoning victims. When examining the hair samples of his patients, he found high levels of heavy metals inside of his patients' hairs, particularly uranium and lithium. These elements were so ingrained inside of the human hairs that the only way they could have gotten there is if the metals were ingested like food and water. We know that heavy metals damage neurons. Neurons are the cells inside of your nerves. This makes a lot of sense of why so many poisoning victims have symptoms of painful urination, similar to urinary tract infections. The kidneys are controlled by nerves that originate in the brain and travel through the spinal cord. The nerves travel to the kidney in the walls of the blood vessels. The bladder is also controlled by nerves that come from the spinal cord. The symptoms similar to urinary tract infections are strongly indicative of a condition known as neurogenic bladder. Neurogenic bladder is caused by multiple ailments, including heavy metal poisoning. But here's an interesting question. Why do the symptoms continue to get reactivated years after the 2015 gas blowout? Many of the poisoning victims told me that when they opened boxes of stuff from their home back in Porter Ranch or the San Fernando Valley, they'll suddenly start developing symptoms such as rashes and headaches. Heavy metals in the dust are consistent with why people get rashes and headaches when they open up their boxes of stuff. Hopefully this episode has provided clarity as to why being exposed to the Porter Ranch gas blowout has caused so many problems with the urinary tract.